I would say that tonight's White House Correspondents Dinner was bad, but that is not selling it nearly enough. This was a complete disaster, filled with silence and sad looks at a president who is clearly in cognitive and physical decline. So much so that after a speech, which was a complete disaster wrapped up, Donald Trump decided, how else could I cap off the night besides passing out? And that is exactly what he did. The crowd was stunned, they were disturbed, and Donald Trump was asleep. We are going to get into it all, but I don't know how I could start this video any other way than what I felt like was the grossest moment of the night, and it was Donald Trump both attacking and hitting on Caitlin Collins.
But they'll learn their lesson. But I want to personally congratulate CNN's Caitlin Collins on receiving her award. It was all about me. It's a fake. She shouldn't get the award. It was a fake, but I didn't mind. I said, Caitlin, congratulations. But it was fake. There's no question about it. But she's a young, attractive woman. She never smiles. I said, Caitlin, do you have a smile? Smile. You have a nice position. You're at CNN Fake News. You should be a happy person. So smile, Caitlin. Just smile. But we attack, and I thought Caitlin had really made it big with a major new sponsorship, but then I informed her that it wasn't her on the Bud Light can, it was Dylan Mulvaney. And Dylan Mulvaney cost Bud Light $35 billion in market cap. That was the worst commercial ever made, by the way, for those few people that want to hear that. Most people don't care, but I would. I wouldn't want to hire Dylan anytime soon. Think of it, they hired Dylan Mulvaney, and their market cap has gone down by $35 billion. Who wrote that commercial?
Why is he so gross? Like, truly, why is he so gross? It is just blech after blech after blech. Like, I just am so tired of hearing from Donald Trump. I have said a million times, every accusation of Trump derangement syndrome on the left so thoroughly pisses me off because we are not deranged for being tired of this guy. He is deranged for always shoving himself in our faces. And in fact, Donald Trump made a comment about that during this speech, saying that the press needs him, that they love him, that they want more of him. And sure, I believe that is true for some corporate media. I believe that some corporate media wanted Donald Trump to win re-election so they'd have something to cover. But some of us, we're just fucking tired of the guy. We do this because we want to call him out. But there are some in the media who do it just for the money. And Donald Trump is right in saying that that is the case. But he is not right to believe that we want this.
All different topics, all bad, everything bad. But here we are. I mean, here we are. In fact, when I'm finished, I'm going right back to the Oval Office. So I have to be doing okay. But we are all doing good together. That's why tonight, to show just how much I care about the press, and I want to save your ratings, I'm pleased to announce my intention to, and this is somewhat of a scoop, my intention to run for a fourth term as President of the United States. I will be doing that. I will be having an official, in fact, I think I have, I won 3 times. Now I'm going to do it again. Thank you. I'm going to do it. Should be easy. I'm getting very good at running for president. No, I won 3 times, did very well the second time, by the way. It's a rigged election, but we don't have to talk about it. You know, it's interesting, when you come back and you do a good job like we did, and you don't care about it so much, but we do have to tighten up these elections because they really are in seriously bad shape. But
I do not care how much money the media makes off of Donald Trump. You gotta be tired of this. I don't care how much the anchors at CNN or MSNBC, and there's great work going on at MSNBC, so it's not to throw my friends under the bus, but like, I don't care. You guys cannot possibly want to live through this. It is not worth, there is no amount of money that is worth more Donald Trump, is what I'd say if I actually believed in a lot of the press, but I don't. I don't believe in them. I believe that they want this to go on forever, and many of them would be happy with a fourth term. And so they have brought this upon themselves in many ways. Having to sit in that smelly room with the ugly, ranting, and raving president, you could have just covered him accurately, and we probably wouldn't be here. You could talk about the files more, you could talk about his health, and we wouldn't be here. But what are you subject to? Listening to Donald Trump screaming at you, and then going silent as he passes out, which is where I want to hit real quick before we get back into this ridiculous speech. Look what happened after. The man passed out again.
I'm going big. There's a passport involved. David, keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. What?
At sleepy Donald Trump in this photo, looking disgusting, looking gross, looking sad. It is just foul to see. This speech tonight so represents Donald Trump's presidency. The media going to cover a non-event, and I'm covering it to point out the fact that he is in cognitive and physical decline, which they don't say sometimes at all or nearly enough. But the media gathered to hear Donald Trump ramble. They're all tired. They do it for profit. And nobody wants to be there, and nobody should be there. Donald Trump looks sad, Donald Trump looks weird, and for some reason they just wake up and pretend that all is normal the next day. But it is not. He has spent his entire term attacking the press, going after anyone who speaks out against him. You should feel more emboldened to call out the President of the United States after especially making this hypocritical statement. Donald Trump spent literally his entire speech tonight making jokes that did not land. Making jokes that did not land at all. And now he's going to attack actual comedians? I think everyone in that room, even the Foxos, probably would have preferred a little Stephen Colbert. They would have been fine with the Colbert Report version of Stephen Colbert. They would have really liked that. Maybe not actual Stephen Colbert. But for Donald Trump to be laying it on thick with the jokes that nobody likes, busting out the little prop hat, oh, I'm running for another term, as the crowd literally sits silent because they were silent. They were stunned and they were silent, both at the bad speech and the passing out. And for him to be like, well, quite frankly, the jokes, they would have been terrible from a lamestream comedian. You are that. You're the lamestream comedian. You're the one that nobody wants to hear from. You're a bad scripted reality show host, and now you got Stephen Miller writing your jokes instead of someone from NBC. So yeah, they're going to fall pretty flat. That is what Stephen Miller jokes do. And Donald Trump couldn't help himself. He just continued to tell them.
But this year, the association decided not to have a comedian, so they considered using Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. These guys, they're terrible. They're terrible. Stephen Colbert. These are people without talent. They get a lot. They have talent. You know who has talent? Their agent, getting them the money they get. They have no talent. But they are not comedians. They're not funny people. They're angry people. They're sick people. But the association really put on a big show.
Is the fat ass who takes the fat drug, who has cankles, talking about who is overweight or not? Is that what Donald Trump is doing? Are we serious right now? This is the reality that we're living in? He thinks he can comment on this? I'm sounding like Seinfeld. Like, what are we talking about? Again, I do always come back to what are we talking about because it is insanity, and it's especially insanity because maybe the press should say something about this. Again, it is people in a room in which they are completely complicit. Donald Trump, to start the ceremony, shook the hands of the journalist who reported on his birthday letter to Epstein. And we're pretending like it's just fine and dandy and okay. It is not. It is weird. It is insane. Everyone needs to do their job more because it's just not happening nearly enough. It's not. It is not. Donald Trump used this as a platform to tell bad jokes, and he continued with this one.
Talk about, they got a whole table full of Republicans there. They're saying, no, don't mention my frickin' name, will you please? But we've had a lot of good names. But the Democrats are there to destroy wealth, and honestly, they've gone absolutely crazy. Gavin Newsom's not only a man who really wants to run for president, he's doing a bad job running a state. You can't have somebody like a J.B. Pritzker, who I understand is not president, sadly, but, some people say, never use the fat word. And I don't. I would never call anybody fat. I have my own problems, It's not like I'm perfect. Sir, in the back, don't call him a fat pig, okay? I'm sticking up for him. Don't call him you. You can't do that, sir. You can't call J.B. Pritzker a fat pig, please. All right? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Everyone's trying to figure out who is that guy, does he exist? But the nice part is when you do that, the press can't get you because I'm defending a man who obviously has a problem. Actually, he's lost a lot of weight. I saw him recently. He lost quite a bit of weight. I don't know what the hell. He's got no chance, believe me. Anything he does, the family threw him out of the business.
This humor is from like 2020. And the joke is that Elizabeth Warren has a little bit of native heritage because she grew up in Oklahoma, and there are obviously, because I think we know the Trail of Tears, a lot of native people and their descendants in Oklahoma. It's probably got one of the highest populations, maybe Arizona, Nevada, in the country. And it's like, yeah, she has a little heritage, and like that was on her college application. And like, that's the joke. This is conservative. That was 7 years ago. What? They are so caught up in a past that they wholly misunderstand. And that is the entire conservative ideology. It is tired. They are whining about shit that they don't get. It's like the Odyssey right now, complaining that, oh no, there's a black woman. And oh no, there's a trans person. And it's like, we need more white people. Matt Damon is American. Like, Tom Holland is from the UK. They're not Greek. You're only complaining because you just want to see a bunch of white people. The historical accuracy, it's a narrative. It's not fact.
Invited Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren. She's referred to Pocahontas because, in fact, I had to apologize. People came up and they said, we want you to apologize to Elizabeth Warren for calling her Pocahontas. And I ended up apologizing to the real Pocahontas. But Elizabeth Warren was supposedly of Indian heritage. And then she took the test and she only had 1,024th Native American. And I said, you know what? I think I'm more of an Indian than she is. So this is what we have to deal with. But Senator Warren did not accept our invitation to debate. I wanted to debate her on various and sundry things, and she decided not to do it. And I decided to bury the hatchet. It doesn't matter. And well, I'm not going to say this next one. Do you want to hear this one? How bad? She wasn't high up on her totem pole. Who the hell wrote that? No, she's bad news.
These people are so out of touch. Their jokes don't land. Their complaints don't land. They're whiny little babies. And Donald Trump sounded especially weird talking about James Tallarico.
Very well. In Texas, the Democrats are running a candidate named James Tallarico, who hates guns, hates oil, hates sex, hates women, and who said he is, quote, a Christian who hates Christianity. Other than that, I think his platform is quite good. And that means that he's not going to do very well against Ken Paxton, who hopefully in Texas is going to win. But Tallarico, he's Alfred. You know what he looks like to me? Alfred E. Newman. Do you remember Alfred E. Newman, Mad Magazine? I said, that guy is Alfred E. Newman. Can't imagine he'd win. Well, I have all of the press here in one place.
Now, I really like James Tallarico, so don't take this the wrong way, but James Tallarico's just a guy. Like, he's a really nice guy. He seems to have been a great teacher, a great pastor, but he's pretty normal, right? Like, he's not Viva la Revolution. Like, I don't know. He's just very normal. And that is why these attacks on Tallarico are so weird themselves, because he's just a guy. He hates women. He hates sex. He's got a girlfriend. What are you talking about? What are you talking about is the theme of the night. It's the theme of the night because I have to ask it. I don't want to ask it. I want to be doing something else. But the people in that room and so many others in Washington have failed to do their jobs, which is to ask in maybe a more refined way that they teach you in journalism school, what is going on, and report on it and hope for consequences. They have not. They have failed, and now they have to deal with Donald Trump yelling at them. So I don't know how sorry I feel. And sorry for that, but we are going to continue to call it all out on this show.